Today, I'm spending the day with the Razer Plus. How well does it handle my tasks, and is it gonna last all day? So far, the foldable phones haven't had a good showing in any of my full day challenges, but let's see how the Razer Plus handles it. My day started at 8 a.m. and that's when I took the phone off of the charger. Fortunately for me, it's wireless charging, so it's a big plus on my book. It might not be the fastest wireless charging, but for 95% of the time, or possibly even more, it's more than fast enough for me. Very rarely do I need to top off in the middle of the day, and if I did, I can just plug it in instead of using a wireless charger. The first thing that I do is check my notifications. With a quick glance and a quick reply, I easily catch up. And the great thing about having the larger cover screen, I was able to do all of that without having to unfold the phone. After I checked my messages, I watched a couple of videos to give me some time to wake up. The 6.9-inch screen on the Razer Plus provides a pretty good viewing experience, and as far as clamshell foldables goes, this is one of the best ones. This is because the phone is a little wider than the Z Flip 5, and even though it's still that ultra tall aspect ratio, the fact that it's wider gets you that bigger viewing experience. And let's not forget that the shallow crease is also going to help with that, where you're not going to have that distraction if there's a little bit of light in the room. After half an hour or so, I got dressed and headed out for some coffee and breakfast. I went to my local coffee shop, and it's pretty famous, so you might have heard of it. This is the first time I tried both of these menu items, and I actually liked them both. However, I definitely needed to make up for the calories I ate, so I went for a walk. Checking in at noon, the phone is at 70%. I had taken about half of the photos and videos that I needed, and I've watched about 49 minutes of streaming video, but I was able to finish all of my Spotify requirements. My favorite thing about the clamshell foldables is how easy it is to hold it in my hand and to slip it in and out of my pocket whenever I'm out and about. And with the larger cover display, using the Spotify controls and replying to messages is a breeze. Plus, I never feel like I have to adjust my secure grip just to reply to a message or change the track or even just raise the volume. I took a short break in the shade underneath a tree, and I was able to watch some videos there, and watching videos in the shaded area was pretty easy. It wasn't bad at all. Of course, as soon as I got into the direct sunlight, it was a bit harder. It did okay when the peak brightness was going, but with 90-degree temperature down here in South Florida, that doesn't last very long. So once the peak brightness dims a little bit, it becomes pretty hard to see. But that's the case with all phones really, but even slab phones suffer from not being able to hold peak brightness for too long. So I finally get back home and I wind down for a little bit because I was just plain exhausted. So I just laid down on my bed and streamed a few more videos to get the watch time up on my phone. But after a while, I got some energy back, so I went to do my laundry. So while doing laundry, I remembered that the Razer Plus has a horizon lock feature, and it's pretty cool because it basically leaves the phone locked with the horizon, and no matter how much you move the phone, it keeps the video level. This is one of the coolest camera features that the Razer has, and I hope Motorola continues to improve on it because it's an awesome feature. Right now there are a couple of limitations, one being that it can only record in 1080p, another being that it requires some pretty good lighting to get you a decent shot. Whenever the lighting is not perfect, I can definitely see a lot of jitteriness when moving the phone, but that can be solved if you can control the movement of the phone and keep it smooth. However, if you move the phone too drastically, it's gonna have that jitter effect. And with this mode is how I was able to get this cool shot right here. At 5 p.m. I checked the battery and it was at 30%, which looks like a decent showing at the moment. So far I completed all my tasks except for a few photos and videos that I'm missing, and the screen on time is 4 hours and 51 minutes. Afterward, I headed to my family's house to watch the Panthers versus Rangers game. And while I was there, I also took the family dog out for a walk, which is great for me because I got extra steps along the way. So overall, my step count today has been pretty awesome, and the phone has kept up with me up to this point. And also good news for me, the Panthers won and are headed to play in the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, the Razer just didn't finish and make it to the end of the day. I'm not surprised because every single foldable that I've tried so far has failed. And overall, the battery life was pretty good. It reached the 5% mark with a little bit over an hour left to the end of the day, and with that it outlasted the Z Flip 5 by about 15 minutes, which kind of goes in line with the battery being a little bit larger on the Razer Plus. Based on this performance, the Razer Plus just won't last all day for heavy users, but for medium to light users, I feel like it definitely will, especially if you keep the screen on time to sub 4 hours. But my biggest takeaway at the end of the day is that I really enjoyed using the Razer Plus. I didn't notice any hiccups whatsoever. The battery lasted pretty long, and I really enjoyed using the front cover screen. And as far as the way that I normally use a phone, this one would last me all day pretty much every time. My biggest issue with the Razr Plus is the camera performance. I would hesitate to make this my main phone just because I just don't trust the camera that much. It feels like if the scene is not basically perfect, it starts to fall apart pretty quick. Of course, the form factor really doesn't help the situation because it makes it harder to put a larger sensor, which is one of the keys to getting good pictures. But other companies manage to kind of help with that with software optimization. So that's something that Motorola could really improve on. Let me know what your favorite features are of the Razr Plus in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for future content. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.